kind of quick today because Lynn is out of town visiting family, and my boys have needed me a few times through this morning with their schoolwork and stuff. So I may try to cut this short in anticipation of them needing me again very soon. But good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're starting off your week with some energy, with some intention, focus on what is most important to you. Today, I am going to be talking about what's most important. What are our priorities, and how are priorities different than everything else? Um, what defines a priority? How do we figure that out? And then, as far as everything else, what do we do with it? Because it feels important, but what do we do? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. In the meantime, how's everybody doing? What's going on? How's your Monday going so far? How was your weekend? We got a rainy couple of days on the forecast for us, so we're going to be stuck in the house today and tomorrow. But Wednesday and Thursday look like 75, almost 80 degrees. So get outside and do some yard work on Wednesday. Rake some leaves, do all that good stuff. We got into it last week. We got already like 5 bags of leaves, maybe more, from last week's family session in the backyard and front yard. But my neighbor told me, so we haven't lost a lot of leaves yet. My neighbor, if I didn't say this already, told me that he used 125 leaf bags last year. I am not prepared for that. I am not prepared for 125 leaf bags. So, if in the middle of the night I'm like sweeping leaves into my neighbor's yard, don't be shocked if I'm on the news. So yeah, Steelers. I'm coming off a football high. I expected it to be a little bit more competitive yesterday against the Browns. It wasn't, and by midway through the third quarter, everybody's kind of like, all right, let's go do something. We're kind of bored watching this. We were hoping the Browns would be competitive. We're looking forward to Cleveland being a rival again, but not happening this year apparently. Tough schedule. We got Tennessee Titans, another undefeated team coming up next week. Tennessee is tough, so we'll see how that goes. So excited about my Steelers. We're having a great season, hoping that nothing tanks it. Hoping that our season continues to go. Nobody gets COVID too bad, and we continue rolling through this year. Speaking of COVID, how are we all doing with that? I feel like we're seeing a couple of more positive cases in my local area. This week we have pulled back. You start to see cases going up a little bit. You start to see what's going on in the news. So as a family, we're pulling back a little bit. And it's going to get hard. I mean, going through the summer was, hard, but at least we got to go outside, right? And if we congregated, we'd congregate in the front yard or in the backyard, and there's plenty of space and open air. Now, we don't have that advantage anymore, right? I mean, it's going to get cold for a lot of people. We're going to be in the house, and we're going to be confined a little bit more. So, how do we manage that? And you can go back to when we first started. We did a couple of videos and podcasts about it at the time. When we were on here every day, talking about how to manage our mental health through this, and it's going to come down to focusing on what's important, and maybe even pulling back, like not being so energetic about what we want to get done, and realizing that there's going to be a mental toll here. We're wearing down our willpower reserves. We're gonna things are going to be a little bit more uneasy for us, so we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace. Just focus on being healthy, doing what's important. Focusing on being social in other ways, whether it's phone calls, FaceTime, Zoom, however you can meet with people, whatever you need to do, focus on your health and stay strong in that way. But they're saying it's going to get worse. They're saying that this winter is going to be bad. Like at the same time, our school district is starting to go, they're loosening up restrictions. They're bringing more kids into the classroom. I personally don't think that's a great idea, but they're going to do what they're going to do and let the results speak for themselves. I personally, we're keeping our kids at home. They have, we work from home, so we have the advantage of being able to handle them here. They have, the equipment they need to be on all day. It's a little bit of a struggle trying to keep them on task sometimes, as today has been. But we make do with what we got to do, right? It's all the grand scheme. Like I'm looking ahead. No, I'm not looking for this year. I'm not looking for this week, and I'm trying to keep their mental health good now. But the real big priority is that we're all healthy a year from now and 5 years from now. So right now, I'm dealing with what I got to deal with, as far as schooling my kids from home these days. Let's see. Let's get into the comments and see what's going on. Good morning, Kathy. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Good morning, Debbie. Great day today, and this week is shaping up nicely. Good for you. Good for you. Sandy, what's up? Good morning. It's Monday. I'm glad the session is on Monday. Gets me focused for the week. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. Sophie, good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning. Brenda, good morning. Adams, good morning. Good to see you. Glad everybody could join me today. I appreciate it. A couple things real quick. I have a couple of books that I picked up. I know somebody mentioned it last week and it was over on the bookshelf. I didn't go get it. But there is this guy, Jay Shetty. A lot of people are big fans of him. But he released this book a couple of months ago now. Think Like a Monk. So this is his book. I picked it up a while back, but it's kind of back in my reading list, so I'm not going to be reading it anytime soon, but I have it, and I see his face every time I walk in my office as a reminder to read this book sometime. And then this is one that was recommended to me last week, The Second Mountain, The Quest for a Moral Life. And actually very interested in reading this. I think this one is going to be rising in my list. I'm going to finish the book I'm reading right now. And I think that this is going to be the one that I go to next. So very excited about reading that one. So what about you guys? What are you reading? If you're, while I'm talking here, if you're currently reading a book, throw it in the comments and let me know. I've been reading some stuff about the current political situation right now. So I won't talk about subjects there because I don't want to get into a political conversation. But I've realized that I can only handle so much of that too. So when this book's over, I'm gonna put those down and get back to stuff like this. That's that's it. So I'm not not a whole lot going on these days. You just do what you got to do. The boys and I partied while Lynn was out of town. We stayed up late and watched movies. We ate popcorn. We ate wings, garbage food, and we ate pizza on Friday night. We watched movies late into the night. Nicholas on Saturday morning slept in until 12 o'clock. That's the latest he's ever slept. Yesterday we went to bed. Saturday night we went to bed earlier. Sunday night we went to bed on time, but he was still dragging his butt out of bed this morning. So now he knows what it feels like to get your sleep all out of whack. Certainly don't want to keep doing that. Good morning, Sharon. Thinking of that book also. Yeah, Motivation Manifesto. Just started it. Yes, I've read that book in the past, a couple years ago. Good book. Brendan Burchard, I believe. I think I'm on the right track with you there, Kathy. Great by Choice was a good book. Absolutely. What's his name? Good to Great. He wrote Good to Great also. Very good book. The thing about Great by Choice or Good to Great, I can't remember which book it was in, but he was talking about making small strides every day, right? Like you can't they made a comparison that I use this reference every so often where if you're going from San Diego, if you're walking from San Diego to say New England, you have to pace yourself along that way, because if there's two people doing it, one's pacing themselves and just walking 10 miles every day, and the other person's just walking as far as they can every day, the second person walking as far as they can every day is going to eventually hit the Rocky Mountains, and he may be 20 days ahead of the guy walking 10 miles a day. But once he reaches the Rocky Mountains, there's going to be nothing left in the tank. You're going to hit adversity. You're already redlining, and when you hit adversity, you're just going to be pushed. You're going to be crushed, right? And so the amount of time you're going to lose because you're already worn out is going to take you back further than than any adversity that guy struggles with going through the Rocky Mountains that's walking slow. So he's going to still do his 10 miles through the Rocky Mountains and rest and recuperate, while the guy is not the guy that was rushing through everything and doing as much as he could and wearing himself out every day. Is not going to be in great shape. And they I think in this book they also compared it to the guys that explored Antarctica, right? The guys with a good plan that did it methodically survived. The other people died. And so we have to look at our daily progress in the same way. You don't get off the couch and run a marathon. You take small steps every day, and eventually you get that hockey stick type result where your results are imperceptible for a period of time, usually a long time. But 5 years down the road, if you make small steps every day, your progress looks incredible. And you look back and go, wow, right? And it might not even be in the areas you anticipate. But you gotta take it slow and slowly progress. If you get up and try to run a marathon after never running at all, you're gonna damage yourself. And it's the same with this. Like, you can't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm gonna be the most defined, focused person in life ever, right? You're gonna do that for a couple of days, and then you're gonna go, okay, I quit. And then you're gonna quit and go all the way back, or maybe worse, right? Same thing with diets, right? We go diets and exercise. We go crazy with diets and exercise, and we look great, we feel great, but then we're like, ugh, and then we slide all the way back. On a smaller scale, you eat perfectly well for 6 days, and on the seventh day you blow it up, and you, like, all the calories you saved, all of a sudden, you're overeating it, and you're actually eating more calories in that 7 day period than if you would have just been normal. So you don't want to go too crazy, where at the end you slide all the way back, and you go back worse than you were in the beginning. And that's the same with this, right? We want to take small steps. So you want to pick, if you are completely undisciplined, right, and you don't have, you're not focused on anything, you're just sort of not going anywhere in life from your perspective by your own judgment. You're just kind of like, ugh. Like, you have to pick one area. Like, you have to pick one thing that you're going to start doing and get good at that, and then you keep going. So your priorities and your goals, it doesn't have to be huge right now. Eventually, we want to get to where we keep stretching ourselves and we keep improving. But you don't want to just try to do it all right now. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to hurt yourself, and you can't do that. Yeah, that was in Great by Choice. Yep. And Sophie's reading the Jay Shetty book right now, the Think Like a Monk. Decluttering at the Speed of Life, author Dana White. Very cool. I'll have to check that one out too. My reading list is getting bigger than yours. All right. So, priorities. What are your priorities? If you have we talk about this a lot because it's the core part of Define My Day. Before I was trying to even talk about goals with myself, I was defining my priorities. And so I'd wake up every day and write down my priorities. And the more that I did it, the more I realized I was spending time on things that didn't take me anywhere. So I had to refine my priorities. And the more I worked on that daily habit, the more I started to see that I needed to develop a goal, like a 1 month goal, and then a yearly goal and a 5 year goal. And a lot of times it's hard because, we don't know, we're so overwhelmed by everything we have going on. We really don't even know where we're going or where we want to go. So we need to bring it into just what we're doing today. Like what's, what am I feeling is most important to me right now? And trying to sort through those feelings is incredibly important. So if you're somebody that is overwhelmed, you really don't know where you want to go in life, don't focus so much on that down the road. Just focus on your priority for today as far as what you feel is most important. And then at the end of the day, when you're doing your reflection on the back page of your book there, you can discuss and think out what you did today, how important was it? How do I feel about it? Was it a waste of time? How much time did it take? Was it worth it? You can answer all those questions for yourself and then change, if you need to, what your priorities are for tomorrow. But what are priorities? So, like for most of us, if we have a monthly goal, if we took it out further and have a yearly goal or a 5 or a 10-year goal or a lifetime goal, what are the priorities? Priorities directly link to what we want in life down the road, right? So very rarely, unless you are disorganized, unless your house is cluttered, uh, we don't have clean the house as a priority. Now, some people, if their 1 year goal or their monthly goal is to organize their space, right, then it can be a priority, right? If you're looking around and you're saying, you know what, this is pulling me down, right? The clutter is pulling me down, the disorganization is pulling me down. Then organizing can be a priority, but it shouldn't be a priority every day for the rest of your life, right? If anything, once the priority is finished, once the house is at a point where, or your office is at a point where things are uncluttered or decluttered, then it may become a discipline where maybe you spend an hour every day decluttering, or whatever, 10 minutes a day decluttering. It might be a discipline, right? A personal discipline, a habit. But we don't want it to be day in and day out a priority. Do the dishes, do the laundry, clean the house, do the lawn. Like, that shouldn't be a priority every day. It can be if it connects to a down the road self-improvement campaign. So if you're saying, like, if your ultimate goal is, I want to be a disciplined, focused person, right? If that's your goal for the year, say this year, for me, what I want for me, the most out of 2021, what I want for me, I want to be more focused and disciplined and efficient. Okay, so then in month one, I'm going to organize and declutter my space. So then your priorities for the days would match up with the milestones of each week for that monthly goal. So for maybe your milestones for the week are office space and bedroom space. Like, maybe those are the two milestones. I'm going to do my office space and my bedroom space, and I'm going to organize those. And then so your priorities would line up with that. So maybe you're cleaning out your office in day one. Maybe day two you're gonna pick up donations. Day three you're gonna physically clean everything. So you can. That's how it would end up being a priority. But your priority should take you someplace. Your priority should not just be repetitive every day, doing the same thing every day. So for the people that say, I feel like I write the same thing every day, it's okay as long as it's taking you someplace. So eventually you shouldn't be writing that same thing every day. Eventually you should be writing something new. If you're writing the same thing every day, then you're either stuck because maybe you're not accomplishing it, or you're writing something down as a priority that should be a discipline, should be over on the daily disciplines page to make it a habit. It's just something we're going to do every day. So, if exercising, right? Exercising can be a priority, especially, like, I'll put it as a priority when I don't feel motivated to do it. So then when I look at my page, I go, okay, yep, okay, my health is a priority today, right? Right. I need to put that above other things. But for the most part, all of that falls under my daily disciplines because it's just part of who I am. It's a habit for me. So your priority should be taking you someplace. It should be moving you forward. It should not be the things that we should be doing every day for ourselves as a habit. As far as, is it personal? Is it business related? Is it relationships? It can be any of those things depending on where you are today, right? So, when we define our goals for the month, we have personal, we have business, we have health, we have relationship goals. Today, we're sort of picking out of that, like, that list of things that we need to be doing in our personal life and our relationship. A lot of times it's business heavy. There's a lot of times all three of my priorities are going to be business related. Other days it's going to be a mix of the three. Other days it's going to be relationship focused, especially on the weekends. Like, on the weekends it's personal and relationship focused, unless we have a crazy business weekend going on. So I'll have spending time with the kids, and then maybe a list of things I'm going to do with the kids. If it's, if my wife and I are planning a date together, the things that we're going to do on our date are the mindset that I want for my date. I want to be open. I want to be happy. I want to be energetic, right? I want to be, whatever that is that you want to be for the person you're with. For my boys, a big thing for me is to be available, to focus. Because how many times can we be talking with somebody and we're like this? Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, that's really cool. That's funny. Yeah. And we're not really paying attention. We're not listening, and they can perceive that, right? They know that, and we know it. And then we're like, when we're done doing that, we can feel that we weren't paying attention. We almost feel a little bit of guilt, and we know that we didn't fully engage in the conversation. We don't even remember some of the conversation, and so we have to avoid doing that. And so I've had that as my priority, like, put the phone down when somebody's talking to you, right? And if you have that in your mind, if it's a priority, you write it down in the day. Then when my son walks up to me while I'm doing something, like whether I'm cleaning or whatever I was doing on Saturday, Ryan walks up to me and wants to show me a cool video or talk to me about something, then I stop what I'm doing and I can talk to him, right? And then, as long as it's not the priority time. Like right now, he knows my door is closed. We're in this video, so unless it's an emergency, like I can't be interrupted for this, right? But in other times when I can be interrupted, I should be stopping, right, and paying attention. And that's a relationship priority. So however, like there's all different things. Like people want to keep multiple books, Define My Day for business, Define My Day for home. I look at it as a more whole life thing. I look at it as, this book is my daily, like my one page going to get me through my day. And it's meant to be only one page because I want it to be quick. I don't want you to spend too much time doing Define My Day. I want you to be quick with it. I want you to get in, write down what's most important, get out and get moving. The point is the action. The point's not documenting all of it. The point is that whatever gets you moving in the right direction.
I have lunch break.
Okay, but what do we know about doors?
Okay.
Thank you. I called it, right? I called it. I knew it. We talked about this right beforehand. Anyway, so, oh my goodness, where was I? I don't even know. Brenda says, I have a huge stack of books to read. I do too. I have a lot of books I need to get going on. And I feel like I'm not placing enough of a priority on my book reading. Maybe that's going to have to show up on my... Actually, it did today. That's funny. So with today, I'll give you an example with mine today. My priority number one is Define My Day, like the doing the stuff for Define My Day today. Video, uploading the podcast after the video is over, sending out an email with the subject matter to our customers. And then priority number two is me, right? And it's not that I'm the second important thing that's going to happen today. But if I don't do my work today, a lot of the other stuff doesn't matter, right? So the number two for me is me. And I have a prompt in there as far as my diet, like a little reminder, stay away from this stuff. Reading is my number two task. And number three is meditate, because I skipped meditating all weekend. And so now for me, even though it's on my disciplines list, my task number three is meditate. Like it's got to happen today. It's a priority. It's got to happen. Now, that doesn't always happen for me, right? Reading and meditation is in eating well. All three of those things are on my disciplines. But observing myself, I know that through this weekend, I've let my disciplines go. So today is my day to look, this is important for you. You want to be healthy. You want to see your kids get old. You want to see them have their own kids. You want to be able to run around with them as long as you can. If that's going to happen, you need to take care of yourself. If you want to be clear-headed and bring your best self to your situations, you need to read and educate yourself. If you don't want to be reacting to BS on the internet or to inappropriately to things that happen around you, you need to meditate and exercise your brain a little bit, right? So that's my prompt for myself. Like, look, you got important work to do. You got to find time for this stuff for yourself too. So priority number two for me through the day is take care of myself in the way that I need to in accordance with my disciplines. And number three for me is kind of vague, but it's future. Like looking to the future it's a mindset thing for me. We need to hire somebody to help out with the website. That's big for our future, right? And then there's a couple of other things on here for me, like for me to to realign myself with where I want to go in the future. So that's my priorities. Now everything else is not a priority. Like I have to talk to an electrician to fix our attic fan. Um, I need to look up something on the internet about the aquariums. I need to. What was there something else on here? Oh, I need the grocery shop. I didn't even put it on here yet. Write it right now before I forget again. Now that all goes on the right list, right? It's all on the list on the right side. All of that stuff either happens in my downtime or it happens after I'm done with everything else. And a lot of times, like something I want to do, like researching something on the aquarium, I want to do that. But I won't allow myself to do that unless I finish all of my priorities. So that's like my bargain I make with myself. I can't do that until I do this. And then even football, like so there's a football game on at 5 o'clock today, which is great. Looking forward to it. I get to do that. That's what I get to enjoy. That's on my list here of things I get to enjoy, but only if I do all of this other stuff. So if I didn't read by 5 o'clock for the football game, I'm going to sit down and read for 30 minutes. And then at 5:30, I can watch the football game. If I didn't meditate, then I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes before I turn on that football game. And that's the way I sort of make deals with myself to get my priorities done. Because there's, like, you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor without doing the labor. And that's something I try to remember all the time because a lot of times we put it in the reverse order, right? We screw around and we do things that we are fun before we do the hard work. And so it's a first things first mentality. The highest priority thing has to get done before I go off and do the things that I really want to do for myself right now, right? So we're doing the things that are a big investment first before we move on to the other stuff that we enjoy. So first things first. First things first. Now, priorities might be enjoyable too. I'm not saying that priorities aren't enjoyable. I make priorities, especially on the weekend, are very enjoyable. For me, very easily could a priority today have been, enjoy the football game with my boys, because what happens, right? You sit down, you watch a game. Maybe I'm sitting on my laptop, I'm still working, or maybe I'm looking at my Twitter feed on my phone, or maybe, we're just kind of like having like weird side conversations or really not paying attention, and we're not there in the moment enjoying it together. So a priority for me many days is enjoy watching the game with the boys, right? So priorities are fun too. Just it's all you just have to manage it. You just have to be aware of it and manage it as you go forward. Debbie says, my priorities once met get shifted to a maintenance routine to keep the tranquility that gives me peace in that area of my life. Exactly. Then our group determine the new levels of priorities and continue to move forward in my dreams and goals. Debbie, you have it. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good for you. Kathy says, 1 is accounting, 2 is office remodel project, and 3 is planning for the rest of the month. Very good. Today's theme is focused outcomes. I love it. And that's exactly it. Focused outcomes. Like, what do I want and what do I have to do to get there? Right? What's my destination and what do I have to do today to get there? A lot of times people get used to treading water and they're doing like really important things, they think, and they're doing things they feel like are obligations and they feel like it's something that matters. But in the end, it doesn't really move them forward. It just kind of leaves the status quo. And if you're dissatisfied with where you are in life, it may be because you're just sort of treading water and you're doing what you feel is important, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not because it's not moving you forward. And a lot of these things that we feel are important is because we've been told it's important, right? A lot of times we go back to house cleaning, right? A lot of times we're told that it's important by our parents. Our parents kept a clean house, so we need to keep a clean house. It's uber important. Well, so you could be miserable in the cleanest house ever, right? So how much does it really matter? Or you could be really fulfilled, but maybe your house is not so clean. So then you have to decide, do I hire somebody to clean my house? Or do I just live with the fact that it's not going to be perfect and I'm just going to have to let that go because I'm going to do something else that's really important for myself? I'm going to do something that's going to make me more money. I'm going to have deeper relationships. I'm going to be feel more fulfilled. I feel like I'm giving back more to society. I'm going to feel like I'm living into my true self. And maybe the kitchen's not going to be perfect, right? Maybe the yard's not going to be beautiful. But that's okay because I'm doing some really important stuff. And that's kind of the mentality you have to have. Like, these are priorities for a reason. And for me, cleanliness is close to godliness. Maybe that's what you believe. And if you want that as a discipline, great. But, sometimes other things are much more important because they move you closer to where you want to be. And as far as I'm concerned, if we're going to talk about what God wants for us, it's to be the most fulfilled person that we could possibly be, to utilize the gifts that we have to be the best version of ourselves. And that's what I want with my priorities. My priorities are taking me to the best version of me that I'm going to be. So that when I look back over my life, I can say, you did everything that you could do to be the best person. And where there's going to be regrets, or where I wasn't honest with myself, I didn't put forth a good effort, I didn't spend the time where I feel I should have spent the time. Not where other people feel I should have spent the time, but where I feel I should have spent that time. And so think about it that way too. Look back and say, what am I going to regret never doing? What am I going to look back and say, man, I could have used my time better? That's the thing that maybe should be in your priority list, in your goals, right? Maybe that needs to be a priority through the week. Sophie says, number one, look for a new job, take my online classes, and exercise. Very hard to be disciplined and stay focused sometimes. Absolutely, absolutely. And you have some great ones right there. Look for a new job. Boom, right? And that's one that might be reoccurring every day. You're going to continue to look every day, right? And you might even have steps in there. I'm going to search the classifieds. I'm going to call this amount of companies. I'm going to update my resume. I'm going to whatever it might be. Tomorrow might look very similar. That priority might be a priority until you land that job. And then keeping the job is going to be a priority. Progressing in the job is going to be a priority. Learning the job. So, growing within the job is going to be a priority probably, right? And so, looking for a new job is going to be a reoccurring, like you're going to feel like every day I'm writing this down until you get it, right? Until you make that progress. That's a very good example. Take online classes, same thing. That might show up, online classes, for however long that online class is, that might show up on your list daily, right? Or maybe a couple times a week until you finish the class. And then all of a sudden you have all of this knowledge. You've grown, you've changed, you move forward, right? So it can be repetitive as long as it's taking you someplace. And then again, exercise, yeah. Sometimes you just need it to be a little bit more than a daily discipline. Sometimes it needs to be pointed out as a priority today. Today, I know it's a discipline, but today it needs to be called out in a stronger way as a priority for me. Needs to be done today. Has to be done. No questions asked. No questions asked. Which leads me to my final point here. You have to look at priorities as non-negotiable. When you write something down as a priority, you are making a commitment to yourself that you will get it done because that is important to you. So don't write it down and then look at it later in the day and go, oh, I didn't get that done. Get it done. Don't make it a habit of not fulfilling your obligations to yourself. Now, something happens once in a while that gets in the way of it. Emergencies happen, right? Something comes up. Something becomes a bigger priority. That's where we document it in the back of the page, right? When you talk about, tomorrow I will improve, or I'm looking forward to, in your journal, in your free journal, tomorrow I will improve can be, fixing how I address my priorities because It didn't get done today because something else got in the way, right? That's why we try to front load priorities, do them early in the day, as early as possible, so nothing can get in the way. But occasionally things do, right? We have urgent and important over important. And we don't want to always be going after urgent, important things, right? We don't want to be firemen, firewomen. We want to approach things methodically, like that person walking from San Diego to New England, like methodically 10 miles every day, rather than burning ourselves out running from thing to thing and hard charging every day. We want to take steps every day. So when you're writing down your priorities, commit to it. That's your commitment to yourself. Get it done. It's not like I'm writing this down, if I get to it, great. I'm writing this down. This is what I say is important to me today, and I'm committing to doing it. So I will get it done today. That's a promise you're making to yourself. Do not get in the habit of breaking your promises to yourself. You deserve better than that, right? You deserve better than breaking your promises to yourself and letting yourself down every day. Don't do it. All right, I'm going to get off because apparently I got a little guy that wants some lunch. It's a little early for lunch, but I guess it's his time. I hope you guys have a great week. Focus on your priorities. Focus those priorities on what matters most to you, and I said upload. I don't know. Uphold your obligations to yourself so that you can get in the habit of doing what's good for you every day. Keep moving forward, and I'll talk to you next week.